Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I wasn't feeling the best over the past few days or more. But I saw the top flower on the inflorescence of this Clowesia thylaciochila, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, are starting to fade. So I thought I might as well film this while it's still looking nice. So if you know about Cloweasias, well, first of all, if you know about Catasedonae, you know all the famous Catasedonae, Catasedum, Cycnoches, Clowesia species and hybrids such as Rebecca Northern. That's a really famous Clowesia hybrid that flowers in the winter. And also there's also the famous After Dark from Fred Clark. There's also a bunch of Catasedums that I'm not too familiar with that are just a huge range of color and shape, and they all smell pretty nice. But I really like this specific group of summer flowering Cloweasias. So Clowesia is not a big genus, maybe have like several species. About half of them flowers in the winter and half of them flower in the summer. And the winter ones are flowering on their deciduous canes or pseudobulbs that are really pretty small. And the famous one is Rebecca Northern, and I think there's also the I'm blanking on the name of one of the parent for Rebecca Northern. Grace Dunn, yeah, that one. So you know the Wartsovitzi, the Rosea, and there's another one. I think there are the winter flowering ones. But I also really like the summer flowering Cloweasias, just because, you know, as a collector, I like collecting things, and it's nice to know that there's only a handful of species that you can collect all of them, and then you can say, hey, I have all the summer blooming Cloweasias. And also they're really cool plants. They're all kind of green flowers, but they smell really strong, and the flower lasts a lot longer than the Catasedum flowers. Also the flowers, I believe they're perfect flowers, meaning they have both the female and male parts. So if I ever wanted to make a cross, I don't have to wait until a Catasedum blooms me a female flower. Okay, so back to this plant. This is a Clowesia thylaciochila, and it flowers while the growth is happening. And I read somewhere saying that the inflorescence is compact, and this one is really not compact. I don't know if it's a temperature, because I'm growing it really warm, and naturally I think this is from relatively higher elevations in Central America, but yeah, I don't know why. But looking at the flower morphology, especially the lips, let me focus on one of them. I can say pretty sure this is the thylaciochila. And the other two species are Dawsoniana, which is really similar to thylaciochila. And the difference is that Dawsoniana is from a lower elevation habitat, and their flower is a little bit more bag-shaped. I have a couple that is spiking, so hopefully when that blooms, I can show you. I think their flowering time is also kind of staggered, so it's kind of a shame I can't show you them side by side. But the other one is Russelliana that has a lip that is more bag-shaped, and while for this one and the Dawsoniana is more like shovel-shaped. Yeah, that's what I read. That's what I observed. Hopefully that's correct. But in any case, this is not like a award-winning clone or flower or anything. Sorry, the camera's having a hard time to focus because there are so many flowers. But it smells really nice. It smells like, of course, all the Catasedonae smells kind of chemically, but it also smells sweet and mildly citrusy. But just this sweet scent, I don't know how to describe. It's like chemically sweet, but give you a warmth. It's not like spine-tingling chemically sweet, or like chlorine chemically kind of smell, or menthol. But yeah, it's nice. And when it blooms, this spike maybe have, I don't know, maybe a dozen, half a dozen, 2 dozen, something like that flowers. I haven't really counted, so my guess might be very off. But it spikes when it flowers, it smells up my entire apartment. This is really nice. And the growth habit is pretty standard for catasetonite. I think people say just grow the summer blooming Cloweasias as catasetums. So, you know, winter rest, but maybe not too harsh of a winter rest compared to some of the catasetums. And yeah, just copious amount of water and fertilizer when they're actively growing. And they do become pretty big size. They're not like huge, like some of the catasetums. Sorry, I feel like I'm shitting on catasetums. They're not huge, but they're sizable. So I like that because, you know, it gives me, I feel like it's a good balance between have some substance as well as not being too space hoggy. Yeah. Anyways, last look at the flower from the side and from the front. And if I could send you the smell, I would. It just smells great. And of course, it's pendulous. So the spike comes down from the pseudobulb, and the bottom ones, I think I rested them on the floor, so they're not opening very well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully when my Clowesia Dodsoniana and maybe even my Russelliana, when they bloom, I'll also film a couple videos and hopefully have a side-by-side comparison picture of the flowers. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.